of Europe Football Club. I'm looking forward to that one. Obviously, we will be joined by a quality panel. Just as I remember, this show is for the fans, by the fans or for the fans, whatever you want to call it. It's just about passionate fans, talking all things European leagues. So we'll have people representing obviously their own football club, the club they support. So they'll try to remain objective, such as myself, PSG fan. I will be representing the French league, and I'll try to remain objective, but it will be a difficult one. We'll also have Victor for La Liga, is Real Madrid fan, die-hard Real Madrid fan, season ticket holder for a while as well. Daps for Man City, the treble winners. So obviously we needed a Man City fan to represent the Premier League and obviously the Champions League as well. We'll have Alessandro for AC Milan and Serie A Italian League. And if you have any suggestion, please feel free to suggest anyone on the Bundesliga side. Even if we know it's always Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga for about 7 years now. And also someone from the Dutch league as well. Without further ado, I will introduce the first one joining the show, my dear friend Victor Bae, whatever you want to call him. Is a die-hard Real Madrid fan and obviously proud of Spanish football. How are you doing, my friend?
Great, man. We're here.
It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
So nice to see you again, as always. So and, just getting nervous as we reach the time to join you today here at the podcast. So thank you very much for having me again.
That's always a pleasure to have you.
The pleasure was mine during the whole World Cup. We enjoyed it a lot. So let's do the same here. So with all the people from all around Europe, I think we're gonna do a blast here. So great to have you here again and to be with you here.
I know it's gonna be an interesting one. Also because transfer talks, everything that's happening right now. Obviously, today at one point we'll have to talk about Mbappe. It's gonna happen. So we're not gonna do this now. Obviously, we're waiting for Alessandro and Daps to join the show, but it will happen eventually. It's a hot summer. Everything is moving again. I think it will be a very interesting transfer window, and again, we need to talk European football and all the viewers here. I think it will be a very interesting podcast for everyone because obviously sometimes we tend to focus too much on our own league, our own football players, our own club, etc. And we tend to forget about the other European leagues. And we know that European football is the best football ever. We don't know for how long because the Saudis are coming for us. You never know. You never know. But we have to say in a very objective way, European football is top football. So
there's no doubt about it. And we're gonna have so much fun around here because both of us, all of us, we are fans about European football, not only our leagues or our teams. So we have been talking about our competitions during the last months since the World Cup. And we all are aware about what's happening in the market, as you said before. Let's see what the Arabian people will do in the next weeks, in the next months. And obviously, I knew we have to talk about Mbappe. We've been talking about it since maybe 5-6 years ago. So, nothing changed by now. And let's see if it will happen on the next days or weeks or maybe next year. Or
let's see. But before the other people are joining, I would like to remember that this show is produced by FanFest Live. It's an amazing platform to connect with football fans everywhere in the world. So if you are interested in contributing to that conversation, do not hesitate to click the little hand. It's a blue logo at the bottom of your screen where you can raise your hand and also join the stream with us. If you disagree with something we're saying, for example, and you're boiling watching the show, you want to say something, just click the little hands and we'll bring you on the stream. Also, I would like to thank our sponsor of the show, Vieille Rue Vintage Shop. They are French and also English business doing vintage kits such as this 96 French kit banger. So if you like any football club, they do every leagues, every nation, every country. So give it a check as well. So yeah, let's kick it off, because it's just the two of us. So while we wait for them, I think I'm trying to avoid the
Where
topic,
would you
but
like to start?
I think we need to kick off, mate. We need to kick off. I've been on loads of streams where people wanted to have my opinion on what's happening with the whole Mbappe situation, and I keep saying to everyone that from a PSG fan perspective, what's happening is a bit of a 50-50 situation. I heard about journalists on mainstream media saying about the fact that Mbappe was kind of the public enemy number one, and in France, which is not the case. But yeah, here it is. Can you hear us well?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you well. Champions of Europe,
different.
treble winners.
Yeah, we
How
never
you doing,
sing
my
that.
friend?
Congrats, man.
They said we'd never sing it as well.
Yeah, you see, it starts already. Like he has his little cocktail.
No, not even orange juice, bro. Orange juice.
Okay. I thought you were already
Healthy
celebrating
day,
the
It's
treble
Monday, man.
season.
We celebrated plenty. And now
How you doing, Dubs? Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, good. It's funny. We've celebrated. I came into the transfer window saying we've won a treble. I trust the board. I trust the manager, and already now it's I'm still there's people out there calling him fraudiola.
What?
Yeah. There's still people saying City won't be the same next season. They're letting everyone go. We're letting everyone go and not replacing them. 2 players have left so far, by the way, just to confirm. Only 2 players have left. We've brought one in. The other only got announced on Friday.
Really willing to sign your Bernardo Silva. PSG was really eager to sign Bernardo Silva, but it was not working.
Yeah. Do you know what I said on Bernardo Silva from right? So last summer, when Bernardo Silva wanted to leave, I actually said, do you know what? I don't understand why, because Barcelona want Bernardo Silva, always have. And last summer I said, do you know what? If they really want him, I understand we've got a lot out of him. If they offer us De Jong, I'd go, okay. You know what? If Bernardo really wants to go, give us De Jong, and that softens the blow. Never got mentioned last summer. This summer, again, Barcelona want him. De Jong apparently was on the market, and I was like, again, the only person, maybe Kimmich as well, maybe.
Barcelona, they want to sign everyone anyway.
But the truth is with Bernardo Silva is, I've just had this conversation because he's got 2 years left on his contract. If he stays for those 2, will have been at the club for 8 or 9 years. Now, if you look at David Silva, Aguero, Vincent Kompany, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Zabaleta, Yaya Toure, they all left on a free, right? After winning us a lot of trophies. And that's what City do. They get a good 7, 8, 9 years out of a player and say, thank you. You've done everything you have for this club. Now spread your wings on a free and go and earn your money at the end of your career. So for me, if I look at this midfield, and I'm looking at this midfield market right now and I'm thinking there is no player in world football under Pep Guardiola that I want more than Bernardo Silva. So if we keep him, that's as good as a new signing for me. So I'm good.
I just have to say, Gabs, I really like your name on the stream that says "Don't add to stream."
I don't know. I didn't do that. I don't know. I was just looking at it, thinking I need to work that out. Don't add me to the stream.
Don't add to stream. I just click add to stream. You're here, bro. You have to deliver right away.
Let me see if I can. I don't know how to change it as well.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you now. With your opinion,
and come back again, probably. But
really?
if you want,
leave it. Don't add to stream. No. I'm here now.
I think we call you don't add to stream now.
Don't add to stream.
Before you joined, mate, we were talking briefly before you joined. Obviously, we were boiling about the Mbappe situation. You have Victor, Real Madrid, me, PSG. We were talking about the whole thing, the whole circus that's happening season in, season out. Obviously, he's seen your dear Erling Haaland winning the treble this season after his first year at Man City.
Thanks for the reminder.
Bro, you have to recognize if you Mbappe, you watch Haaland doing this in one season, you're crying in front of your TV. You're crying in front of your TV.
Yeah.
I have to hurry up. I have to hurry up for
You're right.
somehow, you know. And
Yeah,
that's been
yeah, I
happening
hear you,
for
actually.
a lot of
I hear you.
season. Why are your thoughts around the whole Mbappe situation?
Look, he wants Real. The truth is, it's so clear he wants Real Madrid, right? And like
Of
today,
course.
for example, I've seen today. Apparently, I've seen Liverpool and Chelsea both linked with Mbappe on a loan deal, right? And I'm just like, shut up, man! Like,
Yeah,
stop
no,
this, yeah. Like
wherever except Real Madrid for PSG
and
executives, you know.
There's like, I've had these conversations. So the only one, and it sounds mad, but to me, the only one that would make sense in a mad world would have been the Saudi one, right? Because,
agreed.
Because at his age, here's the reason why. Here's the reason why, right? That I can imagine if you're Mbappe wants to play for one club and one club only, Real Madrid, right? But if you're offered that much money for 1 year, then he could go to Real Madrid because it does kind of look like Real Madrid were ready to wait a year. So if he went to Real Madrid and said, you know what, yeah, guys, I know I'm available now, but give me a year, yeah, I'm going to go and secure generational wealth forever for not just my kids, and then I'll be coming to you on a free. Yeah, I'll be coming to you on a free, and I won't even ask for that much on wages because I will have just earned it all in the last year. So that's other than that, he just goes Real Madrid. There's no else.
It's okay, but look, Jack was Stu just said right now about seeing Haaland winning everything in 1 year, and saying I'm losing my time. So for sure he's worried about it, and I'm sure he's preferring to come to Madrid this year. And you know he can do the same in Arabia in 5 or 8 years after coming.
Do you think he's worried? Do you think he's worried?
It's not gonna happen.
Not worried, but I mean he's rushed already for winning the trophy, the Champions League. Obviously, you know.
Yeah, but I see. It's funny because with Haaland, there's the truth be told is that Haaland is never going to win for his country a European or a World Cup. He's never going to do that. Yeah. Whereas Mbappe.
And nothing
even with Borussia.
You never know because Greece won the Euros.
Very true. All right, that's to be fair,
you never know.
But whereas with Mbappe, like there's things that Mbappe has done already. Yeah, like you know what, France didn't win the last World Cup, but in that in that World, he's already won one. To be fair, but in that World Cup, so he's won one, and then even last year, I get Argentina won it, and I get Messi will always be the. But I haven't forgot
in the final.
Anyone that watched that final, and that's one of the best finals we've ever seen. Yeah, no one's forgot how damn good Mbappe was in that final as well. Like, let's be clear. So there's no doubt in my mind that Mbappe will win a Champions League, and if he joins Real Madrid, there's even less doubt in my mind.
You never know. You never know. You can guess he goes to Arabia to make those 700 millions, and then he get injured, and he never come back to Europe.
Fair point. Injury.
So, that's another point.
Injury there.
Is he ready to risk that? You know, that's the point. Is ready to risk that? So let's see. In my opinion, he's willing to stay in Paris for a year or trying to press the club to get sold at the minimum price and get sold to Real Madrid. And the club is doing no matter what to get him out of the club, but not to Real Madrid. And, you know, for us here, the press and everybody you talk to, you know, we are not worried. You know, we are just waiting. What will happen, you know? Now today, if this day pass, you know, PSG would have to pay 40 millions for a clause about loyalty.
Yeah, the
first loyalty, I mean, you know. But it's not the problem of the player, it's the problem of the club who signed the contract. Nobody put a gun on their heads, you know, and they give the contract to the player and they give the power to the player in order to keep him. The same at Barcelona with Dembélé. They made a contract in order to keep him, but giving him the power of deciding now this year, getting sold to PSG by 25 million when Barcelona paid 130. So, you know, and from the other side, we are a little bit like, you know, expecting what's happening because we already saw Mbappe having another opportunity to come to Madrid in the last years, and he didn't come. So we are not even sure he will go to Madrid. We don't even sure.
Really?
No.
Because what we have lived before.
Listen,
we saw him.
Don't get me wrong. This whole situation, we've been saying this for about 2 years now. He should have went to Real Madrid
even more
2 years ago before
when Mbappe joined PSG when he was at Monaco. Here, the press was saying he was already an agreement with Real Madrid. And the agreement was having him and letting one go from the BBC, from Bale, Ronaldo, and Benzema. No one went, and then he went to Paris finally. So we've been living this for the last 7 years.
Wow.
Wanting Mbappe for the last 6,
Victor,
7 years.
I hear you on
I have
that
a
one.
question for the Madrid fan now. What are you going to do with your Real Madrid kits that you have put the name set on the back that is saying Puta Mbappe with the... What are you going to do now?
I didn't see any one of them.
What are you going to do now? I've seen loads of Real Madrid fans when he said no to Real Madrid. They were putting Puta Mbappe on the back. Huh?
Look, you know how it is. You know how it is. And, after a couple of goals, all those people would forget about it,
Of course.
And I've been always saying the same. And, we've been talking about this for many years. And I've been saying always the same. For sure, we want him here. But if he doesn't come, it's not a problem. It's his decision. He's a pro. So he knows already what to do. And if he's not coming, there's nothing we can do, and Real Madrid will.
I agree with that when he was saying he should have went to the Saudi league for at least a year, because at the end of the day, the best solution for all parties involved was this one.
Yeah,
that's it.
For all parties, including Real.
PSG, we want to have some money out of it. We don't want to behave as an institution now. Bro, like we need some money. There's no way Mbappe is gonna leave on a free transfer. No way. No way. I heard that Real Madrid now is scared.
That's saying right now,
you guys are scared of English clubs that are willing to sign him this summer now, bro.
Do you know what? Look, there's a difference between Bernardo and Mbappe, though. Mbappe, look, we saw last year. We saw last year with Real Madrid. I do get what you're saying, though, because last summer where he signed the new contract, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And I get what you were doing there, because ultimately it was, and I know you got bent over a barrel and you had to give away a lot, PSG, but it was a case of, if we don't do this, he's going on a free, and we have to get something out of this.
Look, last summer we were paying 180 million to PSG. We made an offer.
Yeah.
Nobody replies the offer. Nobody replies the offer. Nobody hung on the phone in Paris. So you guess a guy like Florentino Perez is going to call again to Paris to make a new offer?
Victor, the French president got involved. The French president got involved. Like politics and stuff. They're like, oh, you need to stay for the image of France. The World Cup is around the corner. The kid received a lot of pressure, bro. I have to say, I don't know how it's been made, but...
Look, we totally understand the situation. But if that was the case, obviously he has to stay by the image of France, but till the summer of 2024, because the Olympics. Next year, you will be having the Olympics in Paris. So they would like to keep Mbappe at least till that competition in Paris, to keep the name of Paris in the top of the news every day.
I didn't know the Olympics were in Paris.
Yeah, 2024. Yeah.
That's a valid point. It is. I mean, look, he's very marketable. Very, very marketable. It's mad. I mean... Yeah, but for me, now that he has, I think, and it was he came out and turned down Saudi, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, so he's going Real Madrid, man.
They said
just because of his image, bro. His image. He cannot. He's well articulated, and if he does that and accept, even it's for a year, and we know that after a year he will be able to join Real Madrid on a free transfer. Is my audio not good, Dab? So
no, I'm still trying to work out if I can change my name. That's
right.
Getting used to the settings. No, I'm looking down for the settings.
Alessandro, can you hear us?
But I know the answer.
I think Alessandro, his audio is...
Alessandro.
No, he can't hear us.
There's a button top right you might have to press.
Yeah. So I was saying that the whole Mbappe situation is making us looking like clowns as well. And no one understood about this, because what's happening right now is that we're pushing him to go. If it does not go, what we want to do, we want to bench him all season long, pretty much. Look, not all season long.
Look,
but kind of bench him.
Benching him for a year is even making more the clown than the situation right now. So benching a guy like Mbappe for a year is the clown situation ever.
I know.
Because if you know that he's already leaving and he's gonna leave wherever it comes, just put it on the field. And if he gets injured, it's not your problem. He's
leaving. Mixed feelings as well.
And if he makes goals, he gives you goals and give you something before leaving.
You know what they've done last season when they launched this thing that they call the loft, where they put all the unwanted players that are just taking the piss but not willing to leave the club, such as Draxler, Kurzawa, all those guys that are costing us a lot of money. They put them in the loft and they don't even train with the first team. They want to do the same with Mbappe if he's not willing to leave that this summer or go to Saudi, whatever he wants. We don't care. We want the money this summer. There's no way he's going to leave next season on a free. He can go join Tottenham. Apparently, Tottenham was interested in him as well. I don't care. I don't care.
Laporte, he's not going. Listen, Tottenham tried to talk to Laporte, and Laporte got on the first flight out of England and said, "No, thank you, I'm good." So, there ain't no way Mbappe's going to. But look, it's a hard one because I mean, they're not comparable as size, but they are comparable, I guess, to where we were as a club at the time when Tevez at City decided to do a walker, just decided he had enough for us. Before we'd won, this was the season we won the league. Tevez decided, I don't want to play for you no more. Had a falling out with Mancini and just dipped to play golf. And City were the same as PSG. They said, we're not selling you. We aren't, and we're not letting you go for free. If you think we're just going to let you go for free, and it ended up, I believe, being Zabaleta got on the phone to Tevez and said, look, City will let you go, but you've got to come here and earn a fee. You've got to come here and perform so that someone offers a worthwhile fee for you. And then you can, and we played hardball. He did come back and he came back against, he came back in the last 8 games of the season he played and we won the league, won every single game and won the league. But I think you can't leave Mbappe out, man.
But it's different because Mbappe is saying he wants to stay another year in Paris.
No.
He's signing a contract in 2024.
That's not exactly what he's saying. He's saying he's legally, he's totally right. He can stay until 2024. That's completely fine. But the reality
was the last summer.
Come on, Victor. The reality of the football business. You're a Real Madrid fan. You were the ones that created this modern football business that we know now. Do you think Florentino Perez would have left?
We did not create this modern football model.
Going on a free transfer somewhere else, or Raúl, or Luis Figo, or what?
We did not create the model that we have right now. The model that we have right now was developed in the 90s in the Premier League when all clubs started to be companies.
1992. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Then, we got a president who was dreaming about a huge club and made the biggest acquisitions in the market ever. Okay, but that's not a problem right now. That's not the problem. That's not the case. We were willing to pay.
Imagine 1 second.
We were willing to pay last year.
Mbappe was at Real Madrid and he was doing this to Florentino Perez. Imagine.
I would say the same for you, but I would say let him quit. Like the last 3 years with Gareth Bale, for example, we were having him with no motivation, not looking to play, just looking to leave the club or play golf or play with the national team. And we were saying, okay, he already gave us too much.
Okay,
so he can leave whenever he wants.
For ages, guys. I just quickly want to answer a question on the chat. I was saying why this guy from La Liga is a part of a top football European show, whatever, because obviously the UEFA ranking is the following, guys. Have a look at this and tell me if you agree with that. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the updated one, yeah? UEFA ranking, obviously, top league in Europe still remains the Premier League. La Liga second, third Serie A, fourth Bundesliga, and now fifth position, Dutch league, and the French league is now on sixth position. Right, not too far from the Portuguese. So obviously, we need to scout some German lads and Dutch lads in the show as well. But remember with what's happening with PSG, and I had a look at how the UEFA ranking is calculated. Obviously, it's based on the results of the corresponding clubs of those leagues that are doing in the official competitions of UEFA, blah, blah, blah. Also, I think there's something linked to the revenue that is generated by the league as well. No one can compete with the Premier League. We all agree on that. But guys, to say, for me, trust me, it hurts me to see when people are taking this over saying Farmers League. When I see this number 6, I'm like, yeah, it hurts a little bit, you know? It hurts a little bit. Why are you thoughts about? Do you think that is a fair ranking?
I don't watch enough. I don't watch enough of the Dutch league to comment on the Dutch league.
I don't watch enough the Dutch league, but for sure there's lots more players.
It's all about the Dutch clubs. What are they doing in European competitions? Okay, PSV Eindhoven is good. Ajax is performing. I think we had was that they call it Alphabet FC AZ against West Ham Conference League. Yeah, they did something last season as well. They're playing in the Dutch league.
Last season, Feyenoord also was really far away in the UEFA Nations or in conference.
Exactly, exactly. So again, I think the Dutch league comparing to the French league, you know,
I think you got a biggest highlight, which is PSG, but then the medium class is doing better in the Dutch Championship in Europe.
What about French players? French players, and Daps knows about this because French players, they've practically kind of made the Premier League that we know.
Yeah, but you know that if you look at the stats, for example, the first club giving players to whatever country in the first division is Ajax. Ajax is the first youth academy in the world.
Yeah, true.
And if you are talking about the 5 big leagues, so including France when they did the study, okay, not Netherlands, the first one was Real Madrid and the second one was Ajax.
And do you know what? That was really what you just said there about
last year.
What you just said about admittedly, there's over the years there's been a lot of French players in the Premier League. But if you go back to when the Premier League formed and we first started buying European players, actually, it was probably French and Dutch. Because if you look at the Dutch, Ruud Gullit,
back in the days, Dennis Bergkamp as well.
Dennis Bergkamp. I think one of the De Boer brothers. Did they ever come?
Yeah.
There was quite a few Dutch back then as well. But
it's not only about the French players, Daps. It's also about the players that are coming from the French league because you guys to do your little shopping in the French league because it's cheap.
Yeah. Not us, to be fair, but some of the other clubs.
Not the other clubs. You had quite a few, but not as the other Premier League clubs. Agreed.
Interesting, actually. Poch is scouting a few players. It seems like Poch is scouting a few players from the French league at the moment.
Exactly.
As well. He's got his eyes on a few. So
look at Real Madrid, Camavinga, all those guys. You know, you had quite a few players that are coming from the French league. All French, all coming from the French league. Because our league, they call it the League of Talents. It's just that we lack investment. So that's why people are not willing to invest in the French league, apart from Qatar. So remember, the Saudis, they had the option to invest either in Marseille. I know we hate them, but I'm going to try to remain objective. Or Newcastle. They went for the Newcastle option. Wow. They went for the Newcastle option. But why do you think they went
Premier
for the
League,
Newcastle option?
It's Premier League money.
There you go.
Obviously.
And that's from a tax perspective. I think the UK is more interesting as well in terms of investment than France. Obviously, that's why. So yeah. So if you invest a lot of money in the UK, you'll pay less taxes as well. So that's also another topic. But I think
I think on this whole investment of whether it be Qatar, whether it be Abu Dhabi, whether it be Saudi, on all of that is, look, I know it's going to frustrate fans of clubs that don't have it. I get it. I understand it. And they'll say it's crazy. But if you look at where the Premier League is now compared to most other leagues in the world, right? When the Premier League first started, the amount of money that had to be thrown at that, so much money had to be thrown into the product, the Premier League. Clubs had to throw a lot of money at it. Everyone has sponsors. It had to have, over the years, so much money to get it where it is now. But now you look at the cash cow that the Premier League is. And then you look at these countries that currently have a lot of resources to sell, right? They have oil. Sure. But one day they won't, right? One day. And I'm not meaning in my lifetime, but in someone's lifetime. Yeah. So what they're doing right now is that Saudi league is costing, look, it's not making a profit. But
for sure.
In the
long run, and this is the whole thing. You look at if you go on holiday to any of these places and you see it now, they never used to be a holiday destination. Now they're making all their money out of being a holiday destination. They've got Formula One there, and it's the same. They're doing the football, and if they get, I'll be honest with you, the players they're getting over there, if they get the time of the games right, we'll watch it. Right, if they get the right broadcasting in place, they get the games at the right time. Because
people will watch.
Guys, this is not about fans. This is not about the championship. This is another wash image operation, marketing operation from the government of Arabia, as they did with Qatar with the World Cup. It's the same. You invest a lot of money in big sport events, and then people watch your country differently. You know,
I think it's a long-term
trust me,
business
I think
objective.
it's bigger than this, bro. I think football is very
won't get in
popular
this,
in
but-
Asia and Saudi Arabia. Trust me, the fans in general, they were watching the Premier League, the Champions League
For
already
sure,
anyway. So
but
what
you
they
know
wanted
that
to do
championship
to
is
build
not
the same
profitable
thing.
when you're paying those salaries, you know.
No,
And
You saw
what?
the experiment
And
in
what?
China the same.
no, but here's the thing:
It did not work in China. They tried to do it in China a long time ago. It did not work.
That's what I'm saying.
But,
you know,
but there is an element of truth to the fact that money can be set off against things and tax and all that nonsense, but also that if you get the best in everything, like at City, you've got the best. And the same if we take it away from football, you go to the Middle East and stay at one of their hotels. Go to the Warner Brothers in Abu Dhabi, right? It is better than any theme park you go to elsewhere because they make sure they get the best at everything. And then that means that long-term people come back and long-term people do. So I get what you're saying. They've got so much money that they are investing so much because they know over a long period of time, and trust me, I'm not saying over 5 years, over a long period of time, they could have a league that could compete with the Premier League. And then when they do run out of resources, they've got other businesses. They've got other businesses that thrive.
I do not think so.
That.
I do not think so.
So you don't think
the
the Saudi League can at one point compete with the Premier League?
No, man. Not even with the French Championship.
Football, do you think Europe, because that's what we do tonight, do you think European football is threatened by the Saudi project?
It's only threatened in terms of getting players there. But, the clubs has no history around. There's no a fan base worldwide that will follow those clubs. There's only big players going there. But, there's no Messi there. Messi brings mass people there to the stadiums. Ronaldo, okay. Benzema, maybe. The others? You think people will go to the stadium to see Fabinho? They will go to the stadium to see Firmino?
But
only them?
But I just told you.
That are not on the level?
But babe, I just told you that if they get the TV timing right,
they will get the TV timing in Al Jazeera and they will pay for their spaces for sure.
No,
but it's not the highest point of the day. They will never fight against Premier League or Spanish Championship or Calcio in terms of followers or in terms of the performance they do in terms of marketing and people following the championship around the world. It's impossible. But there's no story. There's no legends around the club.
But the Premier League, like if you go back to the very early 90s, I remember growing up as a kid. I watched, I think was it Gazzetta on Channel 4 on a Saturday morning, right? The Italian league was the best league.
Was the biggest one,
right? It was the biggest league. The Premier League, because of the fact that we'd had teams kicked out of Europe for several years, the hooliganism and everything. The English league was in a dire place, right? And money got invested, and now look where we are. The thing is, what I mean by getting the timings right is if they get the times right. I've asked my friends if they get players that we have an alliance, like Bernardo Silva went to Saudi Arabia, and I don't know, 7 p.m. on a Saturday when there's no football on, Bernardo Silva's playing a game. I'll watch it, right?
And for sure, but it's your third option. If somebody's calling you to get a beer, I'm sure you're leaving your place.
You haven't, bro. I'm very lazy nowadays.
Look, for example, I was doing a presentation today. Football. I'm sorry, it's not only a sport. It's a show.
Yeah.
We are talking about sportainment. Okay. While La Liga changed the brand image this year, they made a new agreement with EA Sports as a title sponsorship. Those things will change the game. And whenever you're gonna make an investment like they are doing right now in Arabia Saudi, they have to keep it for years and years and years because there's something more that not only the players, the names, the brands, or the sponsors. There's also the heritage. There's also the fan base. There's also the history, the culture. Whoever around the world would be in front of the TV to watch the quarterfinal of the UCL, even if, for example, Fenerbahce is playing against, I don't know which other club, Salernitana, and not lacking of respect to anyone. Those
Victor,
medium clubs.
Both of you, do you watch the MLS?
No.
There you go. There you have it.
I don't see the Arabian Championship
neither. They tried to build something for ages, and it did not. Even now with Messi and David Beckham at Inter Miami.
You agree with me?
Inter Miami is they just built the club. What was that 3 years ago? There's no history. Like there's no
Exactly. You know,
I'm not in a good place to.
Now, I hear
to
what you're
talk about-
saying. It's interesting.
We're a
though.
young club too, but come on.
It is interesting because the difference between them and I guess the Saudis in any other world is like they can continue to invest. They can continue to invest.
consistently.
sure, and they will get the audience in Asia, and getting the audiences in Asia, it would give them a lot of money because it's a huge market.
Yeah.
And then maybe they can fight against Premier League in the Asian market or against the Spanish Championship, but only for the Asian market.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
You think, for example, in South America, I mean, for example, Colombia, they got a huge tradition of seeing Bundesliga. You think they're gonna stop seeing Bundesliga for watching Arabia Saudi Championship? I don't think so. I'm sorry, because that's what I say is the tradition, also the culture about the club, about the competition.
I like that. I like that. But
the anthem of the UCL, when you hear it, man.
Do you know? That is a valid point.
Victor, don't say this because your president wanted to launch the Super League, and you talk about the anthem of the Champions League.
We'll get the same anthem. Don't worry. We'll get the same anthem. We did the same in basketball. We did the same in basketball. It was the salvation of the basketball in Europe, and now we got EuroLeague in basketball, and it's a huge show. It's amazing every week getting to see Olympiacos or seeing Fenerbahce or Efes, the biggest club in Europe, every week, the biggest matchup of Europe. The other day, the last year, we were talking about something which is crazy. Real Madrid and Liverpool, which are two of the most historical clubs in the Champions League. They have played maybe 12 times in 62 years, something like that. It's ridiculous, You're watching UCL to see the big matches, not to see the new UCL, where there's more clubs.
All right, okay, let's cut it now. I'm not gonna get involved in this bullshit Super League conversation because I completely disagree with that. I think Real Madrid president is fucking jealous of the Premier League because they're making shitloads of money and he's missing out on the money. That's
you
why
can't be sure about that.
You jealous of the Premier League. My league is not watched.
Maybe Florentino,
I'm not jealous of the Premier League because we can't compete with the Premier League. But the whole Super League thing, Victor, come on. It's all about money at the end of the day. You just said it. It's an entertainment business. You know what I mean?
So, Premier League is only about money. UCL is only about money. Look, all competitions in Europe are owned by the clubs. Premier League is owned by the clubs. La Liga is owned by the club. La Serie A is owned by the clubs. Champions League is owned by UEFA. What is doing UEFA for the Champions League? Putting a new format where there's 32 teams, 32 teams, putting more matches, putting more load of work to the players. And they say they're thinking on the players, they're thinking on the fans. Come on.
That's very true.
Yeah, I don't like this new format one bit.
And when you say it's all about money, look, man, this thing about money started in the 90s when the clubs become companies in Premier League. And I sent you the other day the study. There's only 4 clubs in Europe full owned by the fans in first division. The 4 are here in Spain. And it's Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, and Osasuna.
Okay.
That means something. So, money is important. And when we say fans are more important.
Wait, Victor, what about the German clubs, mate? Because I think...
but they got a mixed model. Maybe Union Berlin
Bayern
is the
Munich
only
and
one.
Borussia, they're not owned by the fans.
No, not the 100%. They got 51%. It's a mixed model. The only one maybe would be Union Berlin.
By the fans. Yeah, okay.
Well, it's easy for fans to own a club when they got the bank of the country backing them, though, right?
That's what you say, but you got the example with Joao now.
Yeah, true. And then, of course.
I mean, when you've got Real Madrid having the national bank behind, which is not true because the only operation in which we have it was they were paying us the space in which we have the ancient Real Madrid city, which is in La Castellana, which is in the center of Madrid. Those square meters are even more expensive now than when we sold it.
Listen, you don't have the national bank behind you, but you have Spanish royalty behind you, which is
the other thing is also
not even.
You've also
That's
got,
not even true.
To be fair, our owners and your owners, they've got a good relationship because we just
look. There's
we
a
gave
lot
you
of
300 million towards.
because
We
here
gave
in Spain,
you
the power
300 million towards your new stadium, right? So
Alessandro, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh my
Hey.
Time, yeah. Apologies.
Bye, Alessandro. Buonasera.
Alessandro is in
Buonasera.
Italy. Is discovering technology. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we're always behind, aren't we? So.
Are you cooking something? Or I can see you in your kitchen, like chilling, like preparing a pizza or something.
No, I'm not cooking. Not cooking.
You know, we were talking about the Italian league before you joined, so that's actually a good timing, because we were saying that you guys back in the days, you were the main before the Premier League. Daps was saying he was watching the Serie A. All the big players like before Mbappe, before being a Real Madrid fan, he was an AC Milan fan.
Yeah, he was a Milan fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. But that's an interesting conversation, Victor. I know you're on top of this. You know, that's your job. I know you got the stats. You do conferences and stuff like that. I like that.
But look, I want to, before starting with Alessandro, I want to end this debate about, the royalty behind Real Madrid, which is not true.
I knew it.
Here in Spain, never the king was a Real Madrid fan, or even the dictator was a Real Madrid fan.
Show me the badge.
It is set out of Spain.
Show me the badge. What's on the top of the badge?
But there's a lot of clubs having the crown in Spain, man. There's a lot of clubs. There's a lot of clubs. Real Valladolid, Real Zaragoza. There's a lot of them, man.
Yeah, capital city as well. Come on. Dubs, would you like to like Premier League clubs to be owned by the fans in terms of decision making?
Right. So when I first started supporting City, we were going through a bit of an FSG, a bit of a Glazers thing, where like my first memories was Swales out, Peter Swales, who was a previous owner who had kept City stable in what was the Division 1 then. We weren't winning it, but we were stable. And we were a bit like Tottenham. We wanted more, right? So we pushed for Swales to leave, and Francis Lee, who's one of like the club's biggest legends of all time, he put together a consortium, and he was a City fan. So he took over. We got relegated, bro. So this whole in England, these fans running clubs, I'm not a fan of it, because what do we know about running?
Passion goes over the professionality, sometimes.
But we don't know. The football culture is for example, is definitely an English thing, man. I'm sorry, but at a very young age as well, I've met with like teenagers that were like supporting Bristol City or like their local clubs and things like that, and they were telling me about memories and mentioning dates when they were not even born. That player scored at the 90th minute, blah blah blah. My grandfather was bro. Like, it's a bit it's not like Spain. They have also this culture as well, a generational culture kind of. But in England, you have this as well, so you could manage a football club.
That's the thing, and I'm experiencing the difference between the two now as a City fan. That you've got your City fans like me, Steve, and most that I go to games with, and we all support City because our dad supported City. Right? That's it. Yeah, it's exactly what you said. You support City because we weren't Man United, we weren't Liverpool, we weren't Arsenal, we weren't one of the top 3 clubs. So we weren't successful when we were growing up. We supported them because our family supported them. That is it, right? And even now, to me, winning, when we were going through when the charges got dropped on us, and I said, and people were like, what would happen if you do get found guilty of all of it? I'll say, well, what will happen is we'll get punished. But if you mean for me as a fan, it doesn't matter what division we're in. The same thing on a Saturday happens. I go up to Manchester, I meet my friends, and that's my release from me working, is to go to a game, because that's all I knew. That's all I knew till I was, 25, 26? That's all I knew. I never dreamed of winning a Carabao Cup, right? A Carabao Cup, yeah? So winning is second to most football fans in this country. Winning is second, right? It's the culture of going to the game. And that's when you go to a game, but it's not everywhere. Everywhere isn't like that. And what I'm having to accept and understand is that this global fan base that we're now getting at Manchester City, winning is more important to some of them. But I do understand that because they can't have the culture of going to the game, right? So they support a team more based on we support teams because they're winning. They haven't grown up to support us. And we just have to accept that. That isn't the way it is, but we are the way we are. yeah, it's culture.
I guess
not the other way.
it's the same as every big. We can
Big
talk
football
about
club,
AC
right?
Milan, Real
Yeah.
Madrid, especially now PSG. We have a lot of glory hunters and people supporting PSG everywhere in the world. Not necessarily because of the fact that they grew up supporting the club or they're from the Paris region or whatever. It's everywhere in the world now. And I get your point. That's a bit annoying. But again, I think we need to accept that it's just part of the
football.
game now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, my friend Alessandro, we need to talk because we are playing Inter Milan. PSG is playing Inter Milan in a friendly tomorrow. You know, we hesitated. We were like, which is the biggest Milan, Inter or AC? We brought you as AC Milan, you know, a French connection as well, Giroud, etc. Tell me, what that season was horrible for you, the previous season. What are you expecting like for next season?
I mean, because of the deductions for Juventus, that was the only reason we actually got Champions League. So we were very lucky. I think Pioli's very lucky to still be in a job. I think one of the things, as we're talking about glory hunters and stuff, not glory, but, you know, don't want to be fans anymore. All this, I mean, end of May, Maldini got sacked, and a lot of fans were like, "Oh, this is it for me." I said, one more thing that's going to happen, and then I'm going to leave being a fan. And for me, I was like, leave then, because no one's bigger than the club. I know he's one of the big. We had Cesare, we had Paolo as well, but no one's bigger than the club. And it happened 3 weeks later when Tonali left, and the same things happened when you had fans saying, "What is this new ownership doing?" Because Redbird came in at the beginning of August last year, so we didn't really have a transfer market with them. We didn't buy anyone in January. We needed signings in, and we didn't get them in. We got to a semi-final of Champions League. But realistically, if we were on Man City side, we would have been out in the second round. Tottenham, awful last year. Napoli.
I remember,
we had Tottenham, then we had Napoli. When you're playing your own league, it's completely different from playing someone that you're going to play twice in what could be every 5 years you're playing this team. Same with Inter. Inter, to be fair, have been the better team in the last year against us. I think we've played them 4 times. They've beaten us all 4 times. I don't think we even scored in the 4 games we played against them. Lost the Super Cup against them. So I think Inter, for me, are still above us a little bit. But the signings we've made this transfer market, I'm looking forward to the season a lot.
You know, that's the thing with the Italian league, mate. It's comparing to the Bundesliga, where I think the past 8 years it's only been Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga. I've seen that the past 4 years it's been always a different team, a different club winning the Serie A in Italy. It's a very competitive league. Why do you think it is so competitive?
Well, I think it all started with Ronaldo coming to Juventus. It completely spiralized them financially and in terms of how it broke the team. He then ended up leaving when they got top 4, but Inter won the league during COVID. He left. They couldn't bring in players because of the financials they have, and they're still struggling now financially. That's why you're seeing Vlahovic and Chiesa rumors of them leaving, but no rumors of anyone coming in.
Nope.
They're having to sell.
We desperately want to sell them Paredes, but they don't want to. They don't want to.
No. So I think Lazio looking at him, but it's. I think the owners of other clubs are now bringing better players in. I think also on the other hand of Ronaldo coming and these players coming into the league, it's more attractable. Like players like Chukwueze, who signed for Milan this season, he was on Real Madrid's radar last year. Like players like that, Pulisic coming in. Yes, I know he hasn't had the greatest of times at Chelsea. Same with Loftus-Cheek, but in a league like Serie A, Loftus-Cheek could dominate a midfield. You know what I mean?
You think better than Tonali?
No, he's not better than Tonali. But if we didn't get that 80 million euros for Tonali, Chukwueze wouldn't have came in, Okafor wouldn't have came in, Reinders, like the 8 signings we've made, Musa from Valencia, these signings wouldn't have came in unless we sold Tonali. Our budget was only about 35 million euros before selling Tonali. We sold Tonali and I think we've spent about 90 million euros, and that was nowhere with that.
Well, you pay 30 for Samu right now. Samu from Villarreal.
Yeah. So we've gone from having Junior Macias, 31-year-old, who we got from a relegation side in Italy, and Alexis Salamakers, who in the year we won the league, the last time he scores in December, which is 7 months till we won the league. You know, to having someone like Chukwueze. Now we're not having to just, because last season we got to where we were because everything was going through Leao, and now we have Chukwueze on the other side, and it'll be way better. It'll be more fluid as well. Not everything coming through Teo.
Be careful. Don't turn into a PSG brand with your collaboration with Off-White and your Teddy jackets that you did. I'm not gonna lie. They were banging. Trust me. Like,
we got one of them. I see all of our European trips. We wear D squared.
Yeah. Yes. So it's D squared. We're Off-White.
Yeah.
But
that's not only PSG. PSG is leading the way, but the other.
I mean, I think even our away shirt, the whitey one, that's not collaborated, but it's influenced on Gucci. So the flash of Milan, but
that's nice.
Well, that's nice. So we were checking the rankings of UEFA, and you guys are the third league in the world. Obviously, the Premier League is the first, La Liga, Victor is second, and you guys are third. Would you say you think one day the Italian league will be back to the second spot and take Victor's La Liga spot one day, or do you, because it's a very as I said earlier, it's a very competitive league. I personally,
Coach, he's back.
There he is.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, did you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was saying I prefer to watch the Serie A than La Liga. From a competitive perspective, football perspective, I don't know. It's a different type of football as well.
Yeah, it's very.
Sorry, Victor. I'm sorry.
I see Serie A.
I'd say the past 2 seasons, past 2-3 seasons, I think the Italian league is more attractive to me.
I do agree with that, but
because of Napoli,
maybe more competitive.
Yeah.
And Napoli's style of football's been nice as well.
Napoli.
But that's coming to an end.
Napoli has been the same for the last 10 years, man. Since they
Napoli
have Cavani,
Napoli is what we like about football, you know. Napoli is not flashing, bling, and you know. Well, that's what we like.
But I hear you. But isn't that they've won the league, and it seems like now they're happy to go. Okay, we won the league, and is that going to continue, or now are they happy to let players leave and make
the owner want to get some money, man?
Yeah.
After doing the investment, you know. He's
we'll
rich,
see,
obviously he's rich, but not
like next year.
He's not coming from the Gulf, you know. So he's rich.
They
he has to make movies, and movies is not a big deal right now. So
I mean, they already sold Min Jae to Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
within about a year of having him. Osimhen, there was a tabled offer today from Al Hilal. It was about 140 million, but De Laurentiis wants 200. And if he does get 200, I think he will just sell. I think he's
sure.
If the
he's a hard guy to do business with, though.
200 for Di Lorenzo.
To do business with.
How old he is already?
De Lorenzo.
Yeah.
I think he's near
something.
I think he's in his 30s, early 30s.
200 million. I'm driving the car till Arabia with him, for sure. You know.
So you don't think, Dubs, you don't think Napoli will win the Serie A, or do you have a very good result? Have a very good result in the Champions League this season, for example? You think it was just a one shot? Like just the one shot? They celebrated. They obviously the celebrations as well in the city, man. That was.
I hope it isn't.
That was something, you know.
I hope it isn't. I said at the start of last season, there's one club that I don't want to face, and it was Napoli. Because I just thought they're that one team that against the City team, they could just outscore us. They could just, it was like, even, and then watching them against Liverpool, what they did to Liverpool. But
when I saw the draw for Napoli last year against Milan, I said they're going to lose because against Real Madrid or City, they got nothing to lose. But playing against Milan, they're afraid of losing against the enemy.
Yeah.
You know? So,
and I don't know. Have they bought any? Like, because I think now, if they get offered good money for any of their players, they'll take it. because they feel
So
like
right so far,
Sure.
they have sold Kingman J and the two players. They had Simeone, who came last year, and Raspadori. Both were on loans, and they've purchased them this year. But other than that, no one yet. I think they're looking at the lens centre back. Is it Dabo? Correct me if I'm.
But you know, Alessandro,
that's very interesting. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was Victor. That's I have something to say. What you just said is very interesting because I have the impression that Napoli's business model is a bit the same as Benfica.
Yeah,
like they have a good result, they sell a lot of players, they make it. They just want the money to come in. That's it. Yeah. They don't really keep the good players they have. No. Benfica could have been an amazing club at a European level, more than
some of the
what
players
they
got rid of. God, yeah, we got I think Edison came from them. Diaz came from them. Bernardo Silva came from them. There's one more as well. Cancelo came from them. Yeah, they are
good. They are releasing good players, but they never managed to keep them for some reason. I think that's the business model of the club. And clubs like this, they will always carry on like this.
Benfica and Porto got great youth academies.
Yes,
and the business model is based on the youth academies. But Napoli is different because the youth academy is not so good. They got some players from the youth academy, but the business model of Napoli is their scout team around the world, getting different players, not the usual one, not the mainstream players, bring him to Napoli, making some loans, and then making them evolve for some years, and they explode on the team. And then they use them for a couple of years or 3 or 4, and then they start selling from the first year and replacing some of them, and getting the money and trying to keep some of the team and then selling others. The last years have been like that. The team they got with Cavani, they use the team for like 3-4 years. They start selling some of the players. Then they stand from the ground again to build a new team. And the same is going to be the same for years and years.
It's not even just like the players. It's the management as well, because their director that did their perfect summer last season, that inevitably, that's what won them the Scudetto, bringing in the depth up front and in the midfield, has left within about a month of the end of the season. He's left Napoli, and now he's the sporting director of Juventus. So
the day after, he was saying already he's going to leave.
He has personal terms agreed, and then of course Spalletti left even before they even got the trophy. He already said he was leaving. They got Rudy Garcia. So yes, they've kept the players in. They've lost a great centre back, but they've also got a new manager. So I don't know what they'll do, but last season I said they were going to come in the top 4. I didn't think they would ever win.
The problem is Daps cut his camera because I received a tweet. It's no longer a tweet, by the way. I think it's called X now. Yeah, they changed it to X starting today. And just in PSG are withdrawing their interest in Bernardo Silva. But again, it's not like Bernardo Silva was kind of showing interest joining PSG, or I heard that it was like a non-transferable or something like that. But apparently PSG is officially saying that we're no longer interested in Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, I've just seen that as well.
Come on. I mean, I don't think Pep was willing to sell him anyway. So
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
You got a great coach this year, Stu. You got an awesome coach this year.
Luis Enrique?
Yeah.
Victor, listen to me. You're a Real Madrid fan. Listen, I have been traumatized by Barcelona, what they've done to us. 6-1. Yeah, we all remember that one. Yeah, traumatized. I was crying. I never cried in my life. I cried when my grandmother died. I cried when I had my first kid and when I got married. That's it. And that game, I was in tears, bro. This Stockholm syndrome that we have, where we got bullied by Barcelona and we go after Messi, we go after Neymar, we go after Luis Enrique, like all of them that were taking the piss out of us, made us look like clowns. We're just going after them. I know he's a good gaffer. Don't get me wrong. I know he's a good gaffer, but my pride is saying no. I don't want him at my club.
But you were bullied by Aitekin, not by Barcelona. You were bullied by Aitekin. By the ref.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. Woo, you know what happened,
Exactly.
Real Madrid was not about paying money to referees, isn't it?
Now you can give them back with Luis Enrique with you, no worries.
No, I know. He's a great gaffer. But again, I have mixed feelings, you know. But everyone he will be better than the previous gaffer we had. So again, mixed feelings. Let's see how it goes. But guys, it's already 1 hour. Time flies. It's been a great show. Every week, Monday. That was a bit transfer talk, like obviously checking the European leagues rankings, etc. Starting, I think next week we will discuss obviously the result of the friendlies, feelings around the new signings. You know, why is the next game? Friendlies are over for Man City. You have no more friendlies, innit?
We've got the Community Shield on Sunday against Arsenal.
Woo!
Well, look, just so you know,
I'm
Community
looking forward
Shield.
to that one.
I don't believe anyone. I'm sure there's a stat that whoever wins the Community Shield never goes on to win the league. So, it's not.
Okay.
If you look at
the young players,
we'll see. I know what's going to happen. I'm ready for it. It's I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal win it. I wouldn't at all.
Okay.
And then they'll be very confident, which is what they need. Because I'm ready for that. I know how the Premier League seasons go. Teams get excited. City don't look the same until February, and everyone tells us City aren't the same team.
I'm sorry, but a lot of Arsenal fans will go after me. But I think Arsenal fans are getting overexcited, overhyped by those signings, mate. I think
they're forgetting what happened in May.
The Havertz signing is bro. That Havertz is, come on. You know, Declan Rice. Don't get me wrong. He's a quality player, but that's okay.
Look, so I'm here to represent the Premier League, not just Manchester City. So
go on.
And on our channel, I talk very highly of Arsenal, but I say one negative thing, and everyone's like, "You hate us." I think Arsenal will challenge next year in the Premier League. I think Arsenal were amazing last season. I think they've improved their squad. I think they've got depth. They've got two in every position. They really have got two in every position. But for me, the way I describe them is they're still an adolescent teenager that hasn't hit puberty yet, right? And there's no experience in that team. And
that's a hard image.
The truth is tough. The truth is that it's not only within our squad that we know, as long as we stay within reaching distance of anyone, right? When it gets to February, we know what we can do. The problem is psychologically, every other club knows it as well now. And if you try, I used this before. We can all walk up and down. We can all walk up and down stairs without falling over because we don't think about it. But if you think, oh, how do I tackle these stairs? All of a sudden, you find yourself stuttering and doing all sorts of weird stuff. Yeah. And I think that's it. But the biggest one I'm hearing with Arsenal that's making me laugh is they've got this real confidence going into the Champions League, and that's where it makes me laugh because as a City fan, I've never been confident going into the Champions League. And every year it's got a bit more because we're winning leagues, we're doing doubles, we're doing domestic.
Alessandro, when Arsenal is going to play Champions League against teams like the likes of Atalanta, those kind of tricky teams that are used to the Champions League, they will be surprised. The
one thing I will always say is I've from the start always said Chelsea and Liverpool, now they've won them, never count them out in Europe. Any team that's got heritage and got history in Europe, I get it, yeah. Have a bit of chess going into Europe. The reason why I didn't and now I have some is because we couldn't win it and we were struggling to get it over the line. Same with you, right? But Arsenal fans are the same. They're very proud of the fact that for 19 years on the bounce, they're in the Champions League. In those 19 years, they got to one final and lost it, right? In 19 years. Now they're back, not even as the champions of England, but Arsenal fans will talk like, oh, we're going to do something in Europe. And I'm like, you really don't remember what this is like. When you come up against, and the thing is, in a group stage, don't put it past any team like Arsenal to beat Bayern Munich when they're in the 6th game of the group or something like that. Any of these teams, Real Madrid, Bayern, Liverpool, Inter Milan, any team that's won the Champions League in the past, the minute they get through the group stages and get into the knockout stages, it's a very different ball game against them because they know they believe in themselves more than Premier League teams do. So
that's interesting. Okay, looking forward to the game on you said on Sunday, yeah? Community Shield.
Yeah.
Okay. Alessandro, we're playing Inter Milan, but not AC Milan, unfortunately. Any more friendlies?
We got Barcelona, I think, Thursday. I thought Friday, like early morning, still in the US, part of our US tour.
We've
got Barcelona left.
I hope Ousmane Dembele is not gonna play for Barcelona because apparently he's gonna join PSG.
Yes,
Let's see
that's
how
what
it goes.
I saw.
Another player that is always getting injured. We signed them. We like injured players. That's how we roll, you know. Like I don't know what's
I
going
heard
on.
today in the radio he lost maybe like 45% of all the official games Barcelona have played in the last years since he joined Barcelona.
That is a madness.
45%.
Whatever. That's a different conversation. Okay, that's fine. Any more friendlies for Real Madrid?
Thursday against Juventus. Let's see if we
okay.
take back from the last draw against Barcelona the other day. It was a really weird game. We play good. We got lots of occasions.
So
But we lost
Thursday,
3-0.
do you think Thursday you'll be able to introduce Kylian Mbappe at Santiago Bernabeu?
I hope yes.
I think the next 10 days,
I don't know.
something's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll be talking
Next
about
10
it
days.
on the next podcast. Yeah.
I think so. Right, lads, that was a good one. Thanks a lot for your time. I think it was a very interesting pod. Again, we always focus on our own leagues, our own countries, but we tend to forget about what's happening in Europe, and European football is the best football out there. That's just a fact. And that is a little one for the Saudi League. Hello, here we are. So yeah, guys, have a good evening and see you on the next one.
Take care, everybody. Bye.